Hi, I'm Helen Atkinson, Managing Editor of Supply Chain Brain. I'm here today at ProMat with James Malley, CEO of Paccurate. Welcome, James.
Thanks for having me.
Tell me, what's going on with automation at the moment in the warehouse?
Well, that's a big question. There's a lot going on, as evidenced by the many vendors at this show. I think I've been most interested in how ASRS systems, so these are the automated storage and retrieval systems, like AutoStore and the like. I've been really fascinated by the acceleration of how these have proliferated. So more and more of brands that you hear about, household name brands, it's kind of a given that they'll have one of these systems. So what's been interesting is how that forces changes throughout the rest of the process flow. Even SLAM, so the last 100 feet, the scan, label, apply, manifest part of the warehouse, suddenly that's dealing with much more volume coming in. And so as vendors into the SLAM space try to figure out how to deal with it or help people deal with it, rather than, a lot of them are just, we have all these new, all this increase in volume. Do we just keep adding pack stations? Now that picking has been sped up, 2 or 3x. And so it's been interesting to see how vendors and shippers are dealing with that increased volume by changing the way they think about the last 100 feet.
All right, talk a little bit more about that. How are they changing their thinking?
Well, I think, when I started in the industry a million years ago, it feels like at this point, putting things in boxes was just sort of it's kind of the most boring problem in the warehouse, really. It's like, it's just, something you have to do at the end to finish the job and get them out of the door, and whew, that's done. But now, here too, you can see all the on-demand packaging companies. Packsize, I think, is a pretty well-known one. But a lot of, every year we see more and more innovation, new entrants into that category, trying to figure out how to increase the throughput as they're making these perfect box sizes for every shipment.
So tell me, here we are at ProMat. What's the most interesting thing about the show for you? What have you seen?
You can kind of intellectually know that there's, 1,200 vendors out there offering things, but seeing them all in one place is a different experience. And I think even having been in the space for so long, walking these halls, assuming you have the right sneakers for the job, it is just mind-blowing. And there are categories of solution, but they all kind of have their different take on how they do it. And in some ways, there are definitely headline vendors for each of these categories. If you know what an AMR system is, you know what Locus Robotics is, right? But I think it's less about being the first vendor to really popularize a category. It's who can create the most success stories the fastest. So the ones that I see have the biggest boots here, it's kind of no accident. They're the ones that have the most installations, the most passionate kind of customers talking about them too.
So with this incredible proliferation of vendors that we see here at the show, do you have any advice for vendors about how to distinguish themselves or how to grow?
Vendors, yeah. I think, supply chain is a little slower to adopt new ideas than maybe other industries. So persistence is one thing. If you have a message, a unique perspective, I think persistently putting it out there into the world until you start figuring out how to talk about it in a way that matches up with a pain point the market has. That's more of startup advice, I think.
Right.
But like I said, this is a very story-driven industry. So if you had amazing success, you really helped somebody facing a really big problem, make sure that you get that customer to partner with you and tell that story. Not everybody wants to, share what's going on inside their operations, but if you can find a partner that's willing to tell that story with you, that's everything. This is a very proof point driven business because the stakes are high.
Yeah.
If something goes really badly, that's potentially somebody loses their job.
Yeah.
And so you need to provide as much comfort as possible to the market before you start getting real traction.
Now, I'd like you to tell me a little bit about your company, Paccurate.
Sure. So Paccurate is a packing intelligence platform. So you've heard of cartonization. Well, we do cartonization. We have kind of a unique way of doing it, incorporating carrier rate contracts, labor costs, material costs. It's kind of a down the rabbit hole sort of approach to the problem. In recent years, we've released adjacent tools. So we have the buzzword is digital twin, but we call it simulation. But it's a tool that a lot of our customers using their data, figuring out what box sizes to go buy and keep at their pack stations. So that's usually how we first get involved with a shipper. Is they're curious about, it's a really simple question, is like, do we have the right boxes? And then there's some other platform tools, but that's really where we play, and we partner with a lot of automation companies to help kind of fill the gaps there too.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is great.
I've been speaking with James Malley, CEO of Paccurate. Thank you for watching.